all. Today's daf is Rosh Hashanah daf Lamed Hey, the very last daf in the Masechta, and we're going to be starting Lamed Daled Amud Beis 11 lines up for the bottom at the 2 dots. And today's daf is sponsored Lilu Nishmas, Mars Miriam Sarah Basar Yaakov Maisha, her Neshama should have an Aliyah, and Lilu Nishmas, Mars Freida Chayav Bela Basar Yitzchak Tzvi, her Neshama should have an Aliyah. And the Mishnah said Shem Shliach Tzibur Chayav Kach Kol Yachid V'Yachid, and we had a machlekes in the Mishnah. The Chum held that everyone is chayav to daven on their own, whereas Rabbi Gamliel argued that the Shliach Tzibur is might see everyone. Now the Gemara tells us, Tanya, you have a brayso, Amru Leather Rabbi Gamliel. They told Rabbi Gamliel, Lidvarecha, according to you that the Shliach Tzibur is might see everyone. Lama Tzibur Mispalin. So why does everyone have to daven if the Shliach Tzibur just might see them? So Amlahemi told them, Kadei Lahas your Shliach Tzibur Tfilasei, so the Shliach Tzibur can organize his tefillah. Remember, they didn't have Sidurim, so while everyone else is davening their Shemona Esreis, the Shliach Tzibur is able to organize the Shemona Esrei that he's going to say afterwards. So Amlam Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Gamliel told them, according to you that everyone has to daven, Lama Shliach Tzibur Yard L'fnei Teva. So why do we have to have a Shliach Tzibur in the first place if everyone's davening? Amrullah, they told him, Kadei Lahas She'eni Baki. That's in order to be mighty someone who doesn't know how to daven. He doesn't know Shemona Esrei by heart. Amrullah, so he told them, the same way he's able to be mighty someone who doesn't know Shemona Esrei, who's not a baki, he's not an expert. So too he can be mighty someone who is a baki. And Amar Rav Archana, Amar Rabbi Yechanan, the Chum actually ended up agreeing to Rabbi Gamliel. Now for Rav Amar, he says that Dani Machlekes is actually still a Machlekes. Now Shema Rabbi Chia Berei de Rabbi Nachmeni, Rabbi Chia Berei de Rabbi Nachmeni, he heard that the Chumim were Maide, and then Azal Amar L'Shmaita Kamed Rav Dimi Bar Chinna, he went and told this to Rav Dimi Bar Chinna. Amar Lei Rav Dimi told him, Hachi Amar Rav Dani Machlekes. Rav said that it's still a Machlekes. Amar Lei Rav Chia told him, Rabbi Bar Chanan Nami Hachi Amar. That's what Rabbi Bar Chanan said. Ki Amar Rabbi Yechanan Hashmaitza. So when Rabbi Yechanan said this over, that the Chum were Maide to Rabbi Gamliel, if a Galei Rish Lakish argued on him, but Amar and said Adani Machlekes, it's actually still a Machlekes. Now the Gemara asks, Rabbi Yechanan Hachi, did Rabbi Yechanan really say the Chum were Maide to Rabbi Gamliel? V'Amar Rabbi Chanan Tzipayra, Rabbi Chanan from Tzipayri said that Amar Rabbi Yechanan said Hilchos Rabbi Gamliel, the halachas are Rabbi Gamliel, and Hilchos Mechal de Pligi. By saying the halachas are Rabbi Gamliel, that implies that they still argue with him. Lamed Hayamad Alpha on top, we have an answer. Kisal Rabbi Abba Miyami, when Rabbi Abba came back from his sea journey, Pirsha, he explained that the Maidim Chum Rabbi Gamliel, the Chum agreed Rabbi Gamliel, Berachas Rosh Hashanah V'Yom Kippurim, with the brachas of Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, there the Shliach Tzibur might see everyone. And v'halacha mechlal de pligi brachas Chol Hashanah. By saying the halachas like him over there, that means that they still argue with him with the brachas the rest of the year. Meaning, when we're dealing with Shemona Esrei the rest of the year, of weekday or Shabbos, then the Chum say that everyone has to daven on their own, and they cannot be yotzi with the Shliach Tzibur. Ask the Gemara, is that so? Amar Chanan Tzipayra, Amar Rabbi Yechanan, Chanan Tzipayra said of Shem Rabbi Yechanan, halacha Rabbi Gamliel, but brachas Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim. That halachas like Rabbi Gamliel with the brachas of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, implying that the Chum argue with him even when it comes to Shemona Esrei Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. So Elam Rav Nachman Yitzchak, he answers, Man Maidim, who agrees to Rabbi Gamliel? Rabbi Meir. It's Rabbi Meir that agrees to Rabbi Gamliel, not the Chachamim. And v'halacha, by saying the halachas like him, mechlal de pligi Rabbanan, that implies that Rabbanan argue with him even in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur Shemona Esrei. The time you have a brayso, brachas Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, when we're dealing with the brachas of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, meaning most of Shemona Esrei, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, Shliach Tzibur mighty Ram Yidei Chavasim, the Shliach Tzibur is mighty everyone. Divrei Rabbi Meir is Rabbi Meir's opinion. Achayim, when they say Kshem Shliach Tzibur Chayiv, just like the Shliach Tzibur is chayiv to daven for himself, Kach Yachid Yachid Chayiv, every individual is chayiv to daven Shemona Esrei on his own. Now we just ask, Mashna Hani, why would the Shemona Esrei of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur be any different, that we could be yotzi with the Shliach Tzibur and people don't have to say their own Shemona Esrei on their own? Even if you want to say Mishum Defishi Kroy, because there's so many different psukim that have to be said, and it's very hard to remember all these psukim. V'Amar Rav Chanan Olam Rav, he said, Kim Sha'amar B'Sayres L'Kasav Leimer. Once a person says B'Sayres L'Kasav Leimer, it's written in your Torah, Shuv Einay Tzarech, he doesn't have to actually say the psukim that are written. He can just simply say Nasa V'Nakav V'Necha K'Mitzvah Tzarnecha K'Moshe Chasavta Leinu B'Sayresecha, and then he doesn't actually have to quote the psukim that are said in the Torah. So it must be the reason why Shemona Esrei Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is different is Elam Mishum Ta'avshi Brachas, because the brachas are very confusing, they're very long, we're not used to them, and therefore since a person doesn't have a sitter, he's not going to remember the brachas. That's why Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, he could be yes with the tefillah of the Shliach Tzibur. And Gufo, we had just said Amar Chanan Al Marav, Kimish Amar Saras L'Kasav Leimer. Once a person says Saras L'Kasav Leimer, Shuv Einut Tzarech, he doesn't actually have to say the psukim that are written in the Torah. And Savar Mina Hani Mila B'Yachid Aval B'Tzibur Lai, and they wanted to say based off of this that this is only talking about a Yachid davening, but the Tzibur, meaning the Shliach Tzibur, he's not allowed to do that. The Shliach Tzibur himself, he has to say all the psukim. He can't just get away with saying Saras L'Kasav Leimer. Then Itmar Amar B'Shur Ben Levi, Echad Yachid V'Echad Tzibur, whether we're dealing with the Yachid or the Shliach Tzibur, Kimish Amar Saras L'Kasav Leimer. Once he says Saras L'Kasav Leimer, Shuv Einut Tzarech, he doesn't actually have to enumerate all the psukim afterwards. And Amar Belazar, he says, La'olam Yasser Adam Tfilasim Achach Yispal. A person should organize his tefillah and then he should daven. Remember, he doesn't have a sitter, so he should first organize his thoughts and know what he's going to say, and then he davens Shemona Esrei. Amar Rabbi Abba, he says, Mistaber Milsad Rabbi Belazar, this is very logical, but brachas Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Mishal Prakim, when we're dealing with most of Shemona Esrei, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Yontif Shemona Esrei, Aval Dechal Shana, but when we're dealing with the Shemona Esrei of all year, either weekday or Shabbos, Loi, a person would not have to organize his thoughts beforehand, because he knows those Shemona Esreis, so he knows how to say them without organizing his thoughts beforehand. The Gemara says, Aini, is that so? For Rav Yehuda Masadir Tzloisu Matzli, Rabbi Yehuda, he used to organize his thoughts first, and then he would daven, meaning he would make sure he knows what he's going to say, and then he would daven Shemana Esrei, and that was even during the week. The Gemara says, no, Shani Rabbi Yehuda was different. Given the mitlasin yom and half a matzli, he would only daven once every 30 days, kiprakim dami, so that's just like davening on Yontif, and therefore he had to make sure he knew what he was saying. That's because he would chazer all of his learning every 30 days, and he was so deeply involved in learning, he actually didn't have to daven at all. This is a special Torah given to people that are so involved in learning. We don't have anyone like that nowadays, but he was one of those unique people. He didn't have to daven except for once every 30 days, so therefore he had to organize his thoughts. But a regular person doesn't have to organize his thoughts before he davens Shemana Esrei of the weekday or Shabbos, because he already knows them by heart. And regarding this halacha of Rabbi Gamliel, that the shliach tzibur might see everyone in their Shemana Esrei, Amar Vacha Bar Avira, Amar Shim Chasida, Paiter Hayir Rabbi Gamliel, Afilu Am Shabbos. Rabbi Gamliel is patering even the people out in the fields. They're not even in shul, so they're yaitze their Shemana Esrei with the shliach tzibur Shemana Esrei. And v'lami bayahani de kami hacha. And for sure, the people that are actually here in shul listening to the shliach tzibur Shemana Esrei, they're also yaitze their Shemana Esrei with the shliach tzibur. The Gemara asks, Adarabba, the opposite makes sense. Hani anisi, the people that are out in the fields, they're in anos, it's against their will, they have to work and they can't make it to shul, so it makes sense to say that they're going to be yaitze their chiv with the shliach tzibur. But hani lo anisi, the people that are in shul, they're not in anos, they're actually sitting in shul. Of course, they should be davening on their own. To Tani Abba Braid Rabbi Yamin Bar Chia, he taught, Am Shachari HaKayhanim, the people that are standing behind the Kayhanim when they're duchening, when they're giving the bracha to the nation, Ein B'chlal bracha, they're actually not included in that bracha. That's because they should just go in front of the Kayhanim. However, the Am Shabbos, the people that are out in the fields, they can't even make it into shul, so they're included in the bracha of the Kayhanim. So the Gemara says, you're right, Al Kiyas Ravin, Am Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi, Am Rabbi Shimon Chasida, Loi Pater Rabbi Gamliel, El Am Shabbos. Rabbi Gamliel only pater the people out in the fields with the Shemana Esrei, the Shliach Tzibur. My time and why is that? Mishum Danisi b'melacha. That's because they're honest. They have to go out to work, and they don't have a choice. They're not able to be in shul, so therefore they can be yaitze with the Shliach Tzibur Shemana Esrei. Avol be'ir lai. If they're in the city, they're able to make it into shul, so then they have to daven their own Shemana Esrei. They have the ability to do so. They can't just be yaitze with the Shliach Tzibur Shemana Esrei. Hajjan Olach Yantif, Uslik Lam Mesechus Rosh Hashanah. Mazel Tov for finishing all of Mesechus Rosh Hashanah together. We should be zechah to finish all of Shas together. Everyone should have a wonderful day.